Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So we are back with another dye with me. So we're going to be heading to the dye pots and dyeing up some yarn today, everyone's favorite. I am going to just quickly introduce what we're going to be doing today. I did a little bit of prep work before doing the vlog today. And then we'll head to the dye pots, and then of course at the end, stick around because we'll be talking a little bit about what we dyed up and like what we like, don't like, things we would change and all of that. So a few vlogs ago, we over dyed a whole bunch of yarn that I had kind of in my, I guess, business yarn stash. So it was colors that were from, Pi is very needy this morning. So there were colors from like gradients that weren't quite right, or colors that just didn't come out right, and we just over dyed a whole big batch of them. And one of the things we did was I put different skeins, like it didn't matter if they looked the same, and I just kind of threw them in the same pan and just over dyed them in the same way. And so that's really what we're going to be doing today. I pre-dyed up a whole bunch of yarn here, and then we're going to throw them all into the same dye pan and dye up one colorway, and the only difference will be that the base colors are different. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So all the colors I'm going to show you that I did in kind of my prep work, I dyed up 2 of each. Some are on DK, some are on sock. I kind of just did it randomly. There was no kind of process for that. But let me kind of show what this is, because I think it'll make more sense as I show it. So I did do prep work. I didn't record it, so they're just tonal colors. It's not so interesting. So I dyed up a light pink tonal, a bright yellow, a bright turquoise blue, a darker navy blue, but I did leave some spots light, so that way some of the colors will show. And then the last one is kind of a deeper pink. So these are kind of the 5 base colors we have. So again, we're gonna stick all of these in the same pan. And actually, I also have a bear's. I can't hold up all of these at once, can I? If I'm sniffly, I apologize. It's officially allergy season. Okay, so here are the 6 colors technically. We're gonna do bear yarn as well. That'll be like our control group. So we're gonna put all 6 of these skeins into one pan, and we're gonna dye them all up the same as if they all look the same, and then we're gonna see what they look like having these different colors. I picked colorful bases. I could have done more neutrals, but I really wanted this to be fun and see what it looks like. I think what will be interesting about it, and you can see I haven't dyed them yet, so I don't know what we're gonna be doing, is that, you know, I think the different colors will really kind of play into what we do over them pretty interestingly. And then we'll have like the control group, like I said, to see overall how we dyed up the skein. So again, I have 2 of each of these, so we'll do 2 colorways overall. I've been thinking a little bit about how I want to do this. I was thinking maybe one would be more colorful, you know, I would use more colorful dyes over all of them, and then the other batch would be more neutrals. I was also thinking about doing, you know, all warm tones and then doing all cool tones. So I'm thinking of something like that. Like, I don't think they're gonna be both just be 2 random things. I think I'm gonna try to do a theme. I just haven't decided, and I like need to go dye these like right now, so need to decide immediately. But I'm thinking of maybe doing the more colorful and then the more neutral. What I think is gonna happen is I'm gonna start dyeing the first batch. So I'm gonna start dyeing the first batch and then kind of decide from there, like if, you know, maybe I'll use warm tones or something, and if I think it's like good how it is, and I'll just stop and save the cool tones for the other. But if I want to do more colors, then maybe we'll do more colors. I don't know, we'll see. Usually when I film these befores, I've already dyed the yarn, so it's kind of fun to talk about it really kind of before we do everything. So these are the base colors. You can see I tried to do them not like so solid, that way we'll get the different colors to show up in the different spots, but I really wanted all different kinds of colors. I think the dark one will be interesting to see, you know, how the colors play over the dark versus, of course, the white, but even the lighter colors. And then some of these kind of brighter ones over here. So let's head to the dye pot. Before we do, I just want to really quickly remind you that I have the Dye With Me Club. I'm going to talk about it at the end in detail so that we can get to dyeing. Because I actually really do need to get to dyeing, and I'll film the after over the weekend when I have a bit more time. But just a reminder that this is the last month that you can sign up for the club at the current price. The clubs have been going out of stock the last couple of months. Once I dye up the second or the last Dye With Me vlog in the month, I'm kind of set on the number of openings that I can have for that month, because it's all yarn you've seen before, so I can't just dye up more. So if you are interested in joining, earlier in the month is better to make sure you secure a spot, and also help me plan how many skeins I need for that month. And again, the prices are going to be going up with the July 1st renewal, which means that you have through June 1st to sign up at that lower rate. So anyway, let's head to the dye pots. I'll explain more about the Dye With Me Club at the end if you don't know what I'm talking about, and let's go dye some yarn. Okay, so again, I have one of each of the 6 colors in the pan. I'm not going to go through and talk too much as we dye, but for this first batch, what I ended up deciding to do was all blues. So you kind of see a little bit of pink sticking out. One of the blues that I have kind of like breaks into a blue and pink, but it does kind of like, as it heats up, turn back blue. But anyway, besides the point, I'm going to be applying all different shades of blue. So I started with like a light blue, and you're going to see it's going to kind of go into some darker blues throughout. So that's what we're doing with batch 1. So again, I just apply a dye, repile it, apply a new color, repile. You guys will see this process throughout both batches, and I'm just going from like lighter blues into darker blues. So sit back, relax, watch me dye along with me, of course, and enjoy. batch number 2, instead of doing a color, I decided to do all neutrals. So I thought it would be fun to have one of the batches with a color and then one with more neutrals. So I'm gonna apply, I think, like 5 different colors here. And again, I start off with some lighter neutrals and then I get into more browns and then dark browns. So you'll kind of get to see how like adding a color changes these base colors versus how a brown, you know, and neutrals kind of change the colors. So again, same idea, they're all kind of piled in here, and the idea is to apply a dye and then repile it, apply more dye, and so on. So again, I'm gonna just kind of check back in with you guys after they're all done and dry, and we'll see what the skeins look like. That was fun. So we are back with kind of what the skeins look like now that we have dyed them up. I think what I'm going to do is show them kind of with the first batch we dyed, so those blue dyed skeins, and then I'll show, you know, the neutral ones, and then what I'm going to do at the end is do a side-by-side comparison of like the 2 pink skeins, the 2 blue skeins, the 2 yellow skeins, that kind of thing. So lots of comparisons. All right, so first was we over-dyed the skeins with all different shades of blue. Okay, and to show you the control group, this is the white skein. So this is the white skein, which shows the actual colors we dyed with it. So you get the bright blues, the dark blues, kind of all of the blues all over. So you can kind of see the style and how we dyed it pretty randomly with all the different shades. But you do get lighter sections showing through, so we will get to see kind of how it played off of those bases. So again, that's like the control of how we dyed the first skein. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of show them in the order in which they're piled up here. So this is the yellow skein. So you can see, you can definitely see the yellow sections in there. You can see the blues. And then you do get an overall feeling of green. So when you look at it up close, you definitely see the yellow base with the blue dye over it. But when you take a step back, you do kind of get the green skein, which is a pretty cool way to kind of, you know, I didn't mix any green dyes. It's definitely very much a yellow base with blue dye over it, but when you kind of take a step back, you do get a green feel. And it does just kind of make it really colorful with the, you know, the warm base and the cool overtone. So again, you can kind of see compared to the control that you can see a lot of the same style and how it was dyed and how much that yellow base really changed those blues. Okay, so then this is the light pink base, and this is kind of a similar story. You definitely see the light pink, but it faded a lot more than the yellow did in the last skein. So when you look at this skein, you do see a lot of purple. I know it's not wound up the best, but you see again those same blue dyes, but then every once in a while the pink shows up and you get a lot of purple. So again, you get a little bit of that pink sticking out and you get the blue dyes, but in here, and I don't know if it's going to show up well, but you do very much get a lot of purple with this one. So again, comparing it to the first one, you see the same style and dyeing the same blues, and it just kind of like warmed it up a bit, I guess, for that one. All right, so then the bright blue base. So really with this one, we really just kind of accented the blues more. So you, again, this is a good one just to compare directly to the white base. It just kind of gave more depth and dimension to that bright blue base by adding other shades of blue on top of it. So that one's really pretty. And then we have the brighter pink, the deeper pink, I guess, here. So again, this one, the pink kind of held through a lot. So you get a lot of sections of the pink and a lot of sections of the blue. And then there are bits that do look more purple. But for this one, you really do kind of see more of the pink separate from the blue, kind of versus the first skein. You get that purple feel. This one, the pink showed through a lot more. And again, comparing it to the base control group skein. So again, it's just a really warmer tone, much more like reddish pink showing through. But the blue does, again, accent it well. And as like a skein you would knit with, you would just get like those blips of blue in there, which would be really nice. Okay, so the last one is a dark skein. It was like a dark gray blue. So, and this one's on DK actually. So you just kind of get the shadow effect of some of those bright blues sticking out. So in here you see a lot of those bright blues, but overall, you know, it didn't, you know, of course, brighten the skein up. It just kind of makes those colors show as like a tone in it, but the skein itself is still very similar to the base one. And so this is it compared to the original. So again, these are kind of like good, like a good contrast skein for each other because they are dyed similarly and you get the effects. They could also, like, maybe if you had one more skein in the middle, they could kind of fade together. So definitely the same family, and you really just see on here the different base. Okay, so that was batch number 1 where we dyed with all of the blues. And it's so funny when you kind of look at it all laid out, like the difference in the bases don't show through as much as they did at the beginning, right? Like these definitely look more like a family of skeins than the original ones did. Okay, so now for the brown ones. Okay, so this is the white skein. It's so like a mocha type of thing. I actually really love this colorway. So we did various neutrals, so you can see some of those earlier kind of some of those earlier cream-based neutrals. We had some medium browns, some darker browns, and then of course we had that really, really dark one, almost like a black brown. So yeah, that's our control. And so I won't remember the order I did it last time. So overall, brown will tone down colorways. So you can take a really bright yellow, apply brown to it, and it'll mute the yellow down. So you'll see that across a few of these colors. And I probably will do a dye with me kind of on browns in general. But anyway, here is the yellow. So you see the yellow isn't quite as bright as it was before, but otherwise you still see a lot of the same tones in there. You just, again, it's more like a mustard yellow versus like a sunshine or like buttery yellow. And again, these are the two kind of combined together. Basically, these all look like different flavors of ice cream with like hot fudge poured on top of it. That's basically what these skeins are all gonna look like. So again, the light pink, this one shows up more pink than the blue one did. So you definitely, again, still see a lot of the light pink in this one, but again, you get all those neutrals over it and it's toned down. And again, this one is just strawberry ice cream with hot fudge poured all over it. So again, very similar, the white and the light pink, but you just get a little bit more pink in that one, which is nice. The blue one, the bright blue one, so again, it tones it down a little bit more, and I'll do the comparison side by side after. But again, the bright blue kind of got toned down to still a bright blue, but a little bit less, and again, you still see the browns there. So you can see the brown didn't like mix as much as the blues did. It just tones the colors down, which again, we'll see when we do the side by side. So those are those side by side. Just like really added speckling to the base colors. So the brighter pink, again, toned down. And so this is it next to the other pink. And then next to the white. So you really see the same technique, I think, more in the brown one than you did in the other one where it kind of mixed more. Okay, and then the dark blue-gray just has some darker browns added to it. Again, it doesn't really change the feel of the skein too much. It just, for this one, what's nice about this one is I think some of the brighter colors showed up more than they do on some of the other skeins. So you kind of get like that gold in accent here, which is nice. It kind of brought out the brighter or the like first colors that we dyed with first. So again, oh, and it's here against the white one there. So again, they're good complements to each other by being kind of the dark and the light versions. And then this is what it looks like with all of the brown ones. So a really pretty sundae. So yeah, it just really muted the colors down. Not as bright and colorful, not as bright as, all right, so doing them side by side. So first up, we have the two white skeins. Obviously, not too much to compare. One is blue, one is brown, kind of as we'd expect. But you can kind of see the same tone between them because you have the brighter sections and the darker sections. But they do look really nice together. So this is the brighter pink, the deeper pink one. So again, this is the blue one that became a lot of purple, and this one is the one that kind of stayed reddish pink with the highlights on them. All of these ones as pairs really do look nice together, which is a nice way to come up with like a fade or something to start with the same base color and then just apply the different dyes on top of it. I don't know if I would have looked at these two skeins and thought that they were dyed at the same starting point, right? Like the bottom one just looks so much more different, so much different than the first top one. The yellow ones are probably the most dramatic differences. So again, the one here is the blue one that just overall comes across really green. And then the one on the brown one just looks like a mustard yellow. Again, would not know that I started these two colorways with the same base color, which is crazy to think like how different in colors you can get starting with the exact same base. Like these two yellow skeins were dyed together in the same pot, and then just applying different colors on top totally changes the skein. Okay, so for the light pink, again, totally different skeins that I would not know were dyed the same at first. So the bottom one, you really barely see any pink. It's just like a blue purple skein for the most part. The top, you definitely get the hints of the pink in it. But again, it's like a mostly brown skein that looks like maybe some pink was applied to it. Would not know that for either of these skeins I started with a light pink base. So again, these two are very different. Maybe potentially wouldn't even go in the same project together as much as some of the others. So the bright blue, and I think this is where you'll see more of how toned down the brown one got, right? So the top really shows a lot of the base color through, and the blues kind of just add a little bit of texture to it, whereas it's getting blown out a little bit. Whereas the bottom one, it kind of just changed the blues altogether. I don't think this is going to show, but I'm hoping you can see how much less blue this one is by just applying browns. And then the two dark skeins, so again, same idea. This one just is a little bit more blue and this one's a little bit darker. So yeah, these ones are probably the most believable that they were dyed with the same base, with just different kind of overtones. Like these, I think you would look and say, yeah, I could see that these started the same, and this one had more blue and this one has brown. Yeah. So the dark skeins definitely hold that base more. It's harder to kind of over dye with them, of course. So that is it for today's dye with me. I think it was a really fun experiment to see, and I definitely want to probably do a video like this again with different colors, kind of over dyeing it, maybe some rainbow skeins or something like that. So let me know if you're interested, if you like this. If you have questions, you know, write them away and that could become a future dye with me video. So for the Dye With Me Club, which I alluded to at the beginning of this vlog, you can sign up. Sign-ups are now reopened for the Dye With Me Club. So you have through June 1st to sign up for the June 1st renewal. So if you loved any of the skeins you saw today, the only way to purchase them is through the Dye With Me Club. So you can sign up for the Dye With Me Club if you want to receive any of those skeins. And if you are in the club and you saw something that you loved and you want to send me an email with your request, you certainly can. Again, with the Dye With Me Club, you get one skein from a previous Dye With Me. So they have been, I've been running them so that I send out all the skeins from the previous month. So on May 1st, everyone who was in the club received a skein from one of the April Dye With Me vlogs, and my intention is always to keep it that way, that you'll always receive it from the most recent month. But just a reminder that the price will be going up starting with the July 1st renewals, which means that if you sign up starting on June 2nd and later, you will come in at a higher price. However, if you have an active subscription, your price will not change. So this is kind of a last chance to come in at the lower rate before it goes up. So if you've been thinking about joining, now is definitely a great time to do so. It's usually a 100 gram skein, either on sock, DK, or BFL sock. But I've also done some minis. One time I did like a whole variety of skeins, so you kind of got like a little mix and match of different things. So there's no like guarantee about what it is, but it's usually in a 100 gram skein of something. So let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will have a link to the sign up down below, and I will see you guys on Friday with a shop update. Don't forget that if you are interested in the favorite packs that I will be offering in this week's shop update, they will go live at 10 a.m. that morning, even though the vlog won't air until 5 p.m. So make sure you check out the shop early in the morning if you're interested in those. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I will be posting about the favorite packs on Instagram, so you can follow me there at agirlandherwool. Otherwise, I would just say make sure you're following here on the channel or on Instagram, because May is my birthday month and I'll be running some fun things throughout the entire month, and so I'd love to have you be a part of it. And otherwise, I will see you guys on Friday with that shop update vlog. So hope you have a great Tuesday, rest of your Tuesday, or whatever day you're watching this, and I will see you guys later in the week. Bye.